it's a new day. I forgot there was a check engine light flashing. I'm gonna put my code checker on there and see what that was. Start there today. So I got this little Bluetooth OBD2 scanner tool, and I use the torque app on my phone. Oh, we got some extra blinkers now. Let's see. So I know I disconnected the battery. All whatever fault codes I might have had could have gotten deleted. I thought maybe it would store them. This is saying no faults. Alright, now that we know there aren't any fault codes stored, disconnected the battery, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start tearing into this thing. Got the airbox cover off already. Keep moving down the line here. Start making room. This has been all gunked up. Probably replace this sensor too. I'm just getting down here to drain the radiator. Don't want to drop this in the bucket. Not sure how fast this will squirt out. Way too fast. We got most of it in the bucket. I'm gonna take the radiator hoses off where they connect. It's pretty rusty and gross looking. This has all kinds of junk in it. Probably flowing through my water pump. We're gonna take it all apart, clean it all up, replace what we need to, keep rolling. I've had issues with these fan bolts in the past being stuck because it also rotates. I wedged this flathead screwdriver down on one side so I can lift up on the other. Oh, there we go. Got one. Got two. Strip these real easy. There's three. God, thank God. I literally had to cut one of those off with a Sawzall one time and it was a nightmare. We got all four of them cracked loose and we're gonna get this fan clutch off. When you're pulling this thing off, be careful because the radiator's right here and you could damage it pretty easily. Let's get these things off. Just gotta loosen them up. Oh no, this air cleaner is new, so I'm gonna get that thing out of the way now. There's one bolt right there that we gotta get off first. So now you wanna be real gentle, not to squish any of the radiator blades. Get it up out of there nice and easy. Oh yeah. So as you can see now, we got a ton more room to work with. Now we can get a better look at the front of this thing. So I probably should have done this already. But we're gonna take the belt off. Size 14 socket right here on the tensioner pulley. I got me a good breaker bar right here. And what you wanna do is release the tension on the belt, slip it off, and it's that simple. See, I pulled this pulley off and it's actually in really good shape. All this stuff, I'm cleaning it off as I go. I'm gonna reuse most of this stuff, so I'm just cleaning it up. Moving on to the next thing. Now we got this fan clutch bracket right here. I'm gonna pull that out with these 3 bolts, size 12. See that one? A little extra long. This one's a bolt on a stud. My battery's dead. These 2 bolts are the same. And I'm just gonna get the party rolling on getting this stuff all cleaned up. Flip. Oh yeah. I'll let that soak. Just gonna throw the bolts in there while we're at it. Alright, next thing's next. I'm gonna get the tensioner pulley off. I believe it's a 12. Try not to bash my knuckles here. And the central one there is an Allen key. It's a number 8 metric. Well, that thing's in there pretty good. Don't want to strip anything, so I'm going to be careful and try this one more time. There it goes. This one's seems like it's in pretty good shape. A little wiggle there. This bolt, which came off the idler pulley, looked like pieces of aluminum on it. I cleaned it off and now I stuck it back in there. See if I could feel those threads are like. Sure enough, that thing just, like there's some threads left deep in there, maybe, but it's loose. So that bolt is gonna probably need some attention. That hole, might need to drill it out and plug it so that we get this thing to thread in properly. Something we'll deal with down the road. We've had these things soaking in some degreaser for a little while and we're just gonna give them a quick clean. Alright, how's that look? This pulley also. We're gonna get this idler pulley off here. 14 mil. So I've had these idler pulleys bearings wear out in the past. I remember the replacement was pretty cheap, so when I roll it, it seems to roll fairly smooth, but there's a good chance. I don't know, it seems okay. Alright, so this power steering pump has been giving me a hard time. There's basically 3 bolts holding it on. You can kind of see one here, which is accessible through one of the holes in the pump, and it goes and accesses there. That's the shorter bolt. Now if you look in here, there's another bolt hole down here, which is also accessible through the pulley. My pulley does not come off, however, which is unfortunate because it's making getting the power steering high pressure line that comes into the pump pain in the butt to get off. But anyway, there's actually one more bolt down there. Also has a ground connected to it on mine. That ground for me was destroyed, so it was right there. So there's 3 bolts that hold this thing on, and the power steering pump itself should then just come up. I've gone down the rabbit hole of removing all the power steering lines. I was going to anyway. It has made a mess. I got the lines off here. There was also this line that was running along the engine cross member there, and I got that off. That seems to be the return line, and I am currently working on removing these 2 lines. Well, one of the lines was the return line, and so this other line now is currently the one that's still connected to power steering pump. I'm gonna keep going. I'll update myself later. Alright, so this is the setup I got. Found a couple of bolts that ran through there real nice into the crank pulley, and then I got my size 15/16. We're gonna see if we get this thing to break. No problem. Oh yeah. Easy. Look at that. She off. We'll stick you down in there. We might need that seal because it's looking a little leaky. We probably got a leak. Alright, today is a new day, and we're gonna be working on cleaning all the stuff. I'll start with the power steering pump. It's pretty gunked up. This is where the biggest leak was. I couldn't get this high pressure line off because the pulley's in the way, and there's no way to get the pulley off. I might have to just pull it off, but I'm just gonna clean it as is. I got this over the return feed so that I don't contaminate the system. Got it all sprayed with degreaser, and I'm gonna scrub it down. And there you have it. Nice clean power steering pump. It seemed to me like the pump was doing just fine, so I hope that's the case because things seem to be a little bit hard to come by. I'm just giving it a little tap. It seems to be sliding out. Alright. So that whole bracket wanted to come out. Oh yeah. Totally missing a bolt. So as you can can see right there, I'm assuming that's a ground, but one of the connections to the alternator plug right there is just completely broken. This one right here, it's all tore up. I don't know what the deal is, but it was charging. So we'll probably have to fix this wiring somehow. So I got the main power wire off. That was just a 10. This plug, which is all janked up, I'm gonna need this alternator connector because this thing is tore up. Put that on the list. The alternator otherwise looks okay. So I figured while we're at it, pulling brackets off, we got the alternator out of the way. Look at all that room. This power steering pump pulley holder, a jig was held on by 2 bolts. One right there, and one back over there. This one seems like it's a little smaller. That one was big and long. Alright, I lied. I said there were 2 bolts holding this power steering pump bracket on, but there's one more right back there somewhere, because I can't actually see it. So I'm gonna use this video to check. Okay, so I finally got the power steering pump bracket off, and this fucking bolt right here was in like an impossible to reach spot. I finally got it. Now I gotta worry about how the air conditioning unit is in the way. Alright, we're making progress here. I got the air conditioning compressor out. Disconnected these 2 lines, took 4 bolts out between the bracket and the compressor, and then I took 3 size 14 bolts out of the bracket to remove the bracket itself. How do they make this look so easy on YouTube? Well, that's all for today's episode. Consider checking out some of my previous episodes. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing so you can join us next time when we continue tearing this engine down and get it out so we can give it the refresh it deserves. Thanks for joining us.